Good afternoon, everyone. That's a really interesting and indeed provocative question. So to set the scene, we do have as a fundamental principle that IMO has mandated their 2023 revised greenhouse gas strategy. So there are some specific objectives that need to be addressed. And I would agree with my co-panelist that we need to address those in a way that we will head towards a safe and sustainable decarbonization. We do have MEPC 84 ahead of us, and we do have the resumed session of Extraordinary Session 2. We have just seen in the IMO Docs portal quite some interesting submissions from all member states representing different blocs and having different opinions within the IMO. So what we hope that will happen is that multilateralism will prevail and a pragmatic solution will be achieved, hoping for consensus, because this is ultimately what everyone wants. And what I would like to point out is that a really interesting point, one of the most interesting points that were made during this conference was by the EU Commissioner. What he said about paving the correct pathway for the money coming from ETS back to the shipowning community, and also a commitment of the EU to recognize that if we have a global standard, a global fuel standard, and the midterm measure, that it would be the only measure worldwide, and therefore the owners and operators will not be forced to double pay. This was one of the most important remarks. And coming back to the second part of your question, we do need to address, as an industry, the safe scalability and safety principles. What John said, the safety principles of handling the alternative fuels. We need to see how the adaptation of alternative fuels is actually being incentivized, or if there are the correct subsidies, because under some assumptions, one could argue that paying the penalty by using a conventional fuel would be a most efficient way to tackle decarbonization rather than buying an alternative fuel. So we need to find that correct balance, and I hope that through different submissions that will provoke dialogue between the member states, this will happen in the forthcoming sessions of MEPC.